Hello, brave people. Today we have for me a super. Oops, I just knocked that thing. Okay. So today we have for me a really exciting interview. Please welcome Janet Soriano to the Celebrate Brave podcast. So,
Hey,
Janet.
hey,
So, Janet, and for those of you who I know a lot of my former colleagues, I know two of my former bosses, they actually listen to this podcast. And so, for those of you, a very special kind of, knock, knock, nudge, nudge, Janet actually just redid my website as well as all of the background processes. She kept me accountable. She kept me creative.
hey.
And every time I have shown someone the draft, because I get to the point where I can't see the forest for the trees anymore, there's a gasp that I'm there in this special way. And as we were working together, and Janet was a referral from a connected person that we have. And as we were working together, I found out more and more about Janet. And as we were getting close to website launch, I actually asked her if she'd be willing to share on this gorgeous interview process. So, Janet has the coolest path to technology and to web design that I've heard so far. It is a competition, of course. She has a background in ER. She has done all kinds of product. She is like an entrepreneur through and through. And she's also a mom, which I think is really exciting. Janet lives on the East Coast. And like I said, she managed to manage me even through, my silliness and how I go all over the place. So, Janet, welcome, welcome, welcome. Is there
Hi,
anything
hi,
you want to
hi.
add?
Thank you so much for having me.
Is there anything you want to add to
Um,
that?
no, I think you said it so well, and I'm in awe of your wonderful words. And I'm just so thankful to be here with you.
So, Janet shared with me a little bit about the brave story that she wants to share. And as you start, Janet, I want to just inspire everybody to go back to that time you were doing something for the first time and some of the lessons that you gathered and some of the experiences as you listen to Janet. So, Janet, oh, take us back.
Well, like I said, well, I haven't said it. I am a web designer, but I didn't start off that way, right? My very first business idea was not web design. It was actually selling some small clothing that I would like take from like a drop ship store and sell them online. And I started my learning about actually started learning about entrepreneurship because I read this book called Girl Boss, which is amazing by Sophia Amoruso. And it really inspired me to like, hey, I can get my own store online and I can start selling, cute clothes and actually, make money online and have my own business. And since I was a little girl, I was always captivated by the creativity of entrepreneurship. I
Mm.
even went to a high school for careers and business back, but I didn't
What?
go that route
That's
of
so
career and
cool.
business. I actually didn't graduate from a business school. I went to to do nursing at the very first beginning because my father wanted me to be a nurse or a doctor because so and so that would be the thing that would make me rich
Mm.
and make me more money and make me successful, and I had to be educated and get my degree, and and that was like the belief that was ingrained in me since I was a little girl. But fast forward to that book and reading and getting inspired to on starting my own business. I started the website for selling clothing, and I soon um, hit hit a wall where I understood that I needed to do some kind of like SEO, which is search
Mhm.
engine optimization, to be able to be searched on Google and understand like how people can, you know, do more marketing around that. And I stumbled upon an agency um, of a marketing. It was a marketing agency, and they sold to me this beautiful package that looked amazing. That they would do the amazing SEO for me, and I would, you know, see my big vision come to life, and um, see how I would get more sales on my website, and you know, have it all. And I was sold, right? And I took the opportunity,
Mm.
and, you know, business and entrepreneurship is all about risk, and it was all about like making investments and stuff. So I made my very first investment. And it was like around $700 for this SEO package,
Okay.
which then became something that I got very frustrated around because they didn't deliver on their promise, right? So they sold me the
Mm.
vision and the dream that I wanted to see for my website, but then they didn't deliver on the promise. They just gave me some keyword searching and told me, okay, so that's it. To put it on your website and you're on your way. And little naive Janet at 20 years old thought that she would get rich because she did SEO, great, because she had great SEO on her website. And then it was a hard experience to be just to feel that I was first ripped off of my money.
Yeah. How
And
much
then
money are we talking about?
$700. It wasn't even like, you know, a big as investment, but for me at the time, it was I wasn't getting any clients, so I didn't have that
Yeah,
money laying around, you know?
I think that's a pretty big investment. I mean, if we think about, the average American for our global audience, the average American in the United States is earning around $7 an hour. That's 100 hours of an average American person registered to pay tax in the United States. I mean, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I really felt that's when I realized that I got ripped off, and they really just sold to me on a like, you know, on a level where it was like a 5 minute call on a phone call, and they just like, do you want this to happen? Do you want your website to get more clients? Do you want? And I was like, yes, yes, yes. You know, like feeding on the vision. Of course I want that. Okay, what's ready? I'll give you my credit card. Um, and and then after that feeling of like, oh my God, they just took my money and didn't deliver on the service. And I felt
Mm.
like I'm a poor decision maker. Um, I don't know how to be a CEO of my business. It was kind of like my first real feeling of failure, of feeling like, you know, I failed on something. I took a risk and I, you know, fell flat on my face.
Mm.
And it just, I started crying. I started feeling like I couldn't do it, right?
Yeah.
And just, um, I guess that would be like my moment of bravery to actually go through that moment of like feeling all the feels, because you're feeling frustrated at the time because you get ripped up for your money, and then you're feeling like a failure of yourself because you think you made like the worst decision ever, and then you never come back from that. Or that you'll
Yeah.
never make that money again. Sorry. And it just felt like the end of the world was happening back then.
Mhm.
um but my brave moment would be like, I didn't let that, even though it stopped me at the moment to really think and go through that moment, I didn't stop me in the long term of building my business, right? So
Yeah.
fast forward to that moment, I decided that I wasn't really into selling clothing, because I'm a girl that just, you know, puts anything on and and just goes with it. I am not a fashionista. Um, so I decided, I want to do something else, and I went on my second idea, and I built another website for that second idea, which was event planning. Had a couple of clients on event planning. I was actually doing like events for like networking and business entrepreneurship. I was like all into that creative stuff. Then figured out I didn't really like all the thing that goes on into event planning. It was a lot of overwhelmed.
Mm.
And then went on to my third business idea, which was life coaching. But I was 21, living with my stepmother and bartending on the weekends while still in school.
Oh my gosh, wait,
So
wait,
I
wait,
was
wait, wait,
like,
wait, wait. How
how am I
old were
going to do
you?
it?
How old were you
21.
when you started this? So you Okay, so
20.
when did you start your t-shirt or your clothing?
I was like 20 when I was 20. Yeah, that same year.
Shut the door. That is amazing. Okay. So now I'm going to totally interrupt you. I was an
Mhm,
executive at a tech company and I didn't know what I was going to do. I have never told this story before. This is why you sharing your story is so powerful because it gives me permission and many other people permission. I've never shared this story before. Okay.
mhm,
So I was a tech executive. I had already worked in 20 some countries and I knew that I needed a change and I didn't know what that change would be. So pulling
mhm,
down an executive salary, I spent $500 on an online entrepreneurial class that in no way, shape, or form filled my expectations to the point where I thought, oh, I misunderstood. I went back and reread the copy and realized, no, I did not misunderstand. I did understand, and it doesn't fulfill that $500. And I was 34, 5. I was in my 30s. I had a lot of experience set me back to step into entrepreneurial spaces for 2 years. For two
mhm.
years. You were 19, 20, and 21, and you're like, oh my gosh, failure, failure. I'm going to try again. That is enormous.
Yeah.
Holy
Thank you.
moly. Okay, keep going. Girl, I need to know more.
Okay, so I am okay. So when I was 21, I'm still not that old, but
No, you're
it feels
not.
like it's been a couple of like, and I always say entrepreneurship is like a roller coaster. It's like up and down, up and down, up and down, and like you unless you quit and get off it's always gonna be that way, right? And you just gotta like just enjoy the ride while you're in it. And whenever you want to step off, you can step off. But as long as you're in the entrepreneur space, that roller coaster is always going to be on, and the up and downs are going to happen, right?
Mm,
And then I started learning a lot around, you know, I would never sell my services and never deliver on my promises. And that was like the very first lesson I learned in my very first investment that I made, right? Which is I am going to be of service and I am gonna sell whatever I'm gonna sell, but I am gonna deliver on my promise always.
mm.
And my third business idea was life coaching, like I said.
Yeah.
When I was 21 and I was living with my stepmother, bartending on the weekends, going to school full time on in college. Um, studying for nursing because that's what my father wanted me to do, but still having that entrepreneurship, listening to podcasts, listening to videos, like learning around what business is all about and marketing. And I was just all in on that at the very
Mm,
beginning. And those very few, like the very 2 to 3 years, it was just a learning experience, right? Just learning, 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 not really implementing much until I was like, okay, I've been learning so much. I know so much about business. I know how to get clients. What do I really love to do? And ta-da! Designing. I looked back and I was like, out of all this experience that I had with these past three business ideas, what is the most thing that I've been spending so much time on and that I've been loving to do? Websites. I
So
created
cool.
those three websites on my own, learned everything around WordPress, learned the back end, the techie side, spent hours and hours looking for a program, a software. And I just fell in love with the back end technology of like the challenges that it brings to like understand how to put a menu together, how to, make it look cute and all that. But also still learning the marketing aspect of it because
Mm.
at the end of the day, if your website can look beautiful, pretty fonts, pretty pictures,
Mhm.
but if it's not speaking to your ideal client, if it's not having the marketing foundations that it needs, it's not going to be effective. And I combine those two into my service, which is why I'm able to deliver such an amazing website that's not just beautiful and cute, but
Yeah.
effective to your business.
Oh my, there's so many gems in there. The magic and discovering your magic is one piece. I mean, it took me much longer and a lot more external input for me to realize my magic. That is, I think it's very difficult. And I love how open you are about what other people expected and choosing, okay, I'm going to keep going. I've made this choice. I'm going to go down this path, but I'm also going to put their wants and their needs and their love for me into my life, but not block it, which is amazing. It's
Yeah,
so like that's,
yeah.
and, and also, most of the people who listen to this podcast are in the tech industry, and you are a heart driven, passionate woman in tech. And it's not about your certifications. It's not about somebody gave you some sort of title. It's that you followed your heart and your passion. And the other thing that I'm going to call out, because you didn't call it as a client, you make it so simple and almost enjoyable. It's just,
Ah, thank you.
I think I know for a fact because I've been a part of a corporate rebranding and I've been a part of a middle-sized company's web design. And this is my third, third iteration of my website. It doesn't always need to be that way, but you have a passion and a skill level and a commitment that is very special.
Thank you. Ah, that's so amazing. That's why I call it like the creative journey. Kind of
Mhm.
like it's a creative journey that you go with me. It's not just,
Yeah.
hey, build my website. It's a creative journey that we all go together. And there's moments of overwhelming because I we
Mhm.
got those. And then there's moments of confusion where we just need to like, get on a call, hop on a
Yeah.
call, talk it out and, go through the process.
Absolutely. And the bravery to have failed and to gotten back up and to make better, probably to ask better questions and make better investments for you and what works
Mhm.
for you.
I
Oh my
actually don't
goodness.
regret that investment, that very first investment I made, because it really propelled me to to have this type of service that I have now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh my gosh, exactly. I made a different investment, and it was much more expensive. It was an expensive learning. I was on the phone with someone for only 15 minutes, and I made a series of assumptions about our human values, that we were aligned with human values, and we weren't. And as a result, I still paid the
Mm,
money. I had signed a contract and I followed through. So $2,500 out the door. And then I said, I cannot in good conscience continue to be a part of this. I believe that no human is illegal, right? Love is love. Black lives matter, like all these things. And I just can't in good
yeah,
in my integrity, I can't continue doing business, but here's the money, keep it, right? And since then, I've actually
yeah.
changed my business model. I spend an hour on the phone with potential clients because of that experience, because when we get off the phone, I want to
Mm.
know we are aligned in values and in the type of work that we're going to do together, and make sure that my investment of my time, my services, my magic is in line with theirs, but also their investment is going to bring them further. Absolutely. Oh my goodness. So,
Yeah.
what is the advice that you give to people when they are thinking about, stepping closer to technology? They're thinking about stepping into entrepreneurial spaces. They're thinking about taking a risk. What's a piece of advice you would
Mhm.
give them?
I would say, like the roller coaster again, right?
Mm,
You're the one who's deciding to get on it, right? And all you have to know is that it's gonna go up and down. It's gonna go in circles because
mm.
when you get on a roller coaster, you know that's gonna happen. And even when you're like on the top of like the little hill, like those roller coasters where they go up, like very slowly, like that's the very first beginning when you're like learning all the entrepreneurship, foundations, the marketing, the everything that you need to like learn to be able to like sell to your people, and it's like that up up, and then you're like on that very top, and it's time for you to make that investment. And it's time for you to make that leap, and you're like, oh, so this is what it feels like. And then when you're like just in it, you just enjoy it, and you're like, oh my god, that was amazing. And
Mm.
even if you felt all the fears and you feel all the the struggles and the pain that goes with it, it's still amazing. So my advice would be, just if you decide to get on a roller coaster, just know it's a roller coaster, and it's gonna have
Mhm.
its up and downs, and you just gotta roll with it and enjoy the journey.
Yeah. And having had a career in corporate spaces and male dominated spaces, it's just a different roller coaster. So have all the feels, have
Yeah,
all the feels, all the wins, all the nervousness and exhilaration, and trying to identify when it's negative and when it's positive, excited energy.
yeah,
Right. That's so fun.
and
So,
then being able to navigate.
yeah, good point.
Hmm.
Good point. Oh my goodness, so much wealth into this, and I'm still going to ask for more. So, last question. Nope, I lied.
Yeah.
Not the last question. Second to last question. Who is your
Okay.
brave role model?
I would say, um, my father,
Hmm.
because even though he had other expectations of me, and I was supposed to be this successful doctor or nurse that he wanted me to be, when I told him that I am going to go for my business, and even though he didn't fully believe that I can make it happen, he never got in the way of saying, no, you shouldn't try it. Or he never like ingrained in me like that it's impossible or that I won't be able to do it, right? So he was like, he never fully like believed until like I have it, like now I have the business, and he knows like, oh, so now, oh, so you're making money. But when at the very beginning, when I wasn't making any money in my business, he was like, yeah, but what is it that you do again? He didn't fully
Hmm.
understand, but he never put like a stop to me or disencouraged me to not go for it, right?
Hmm.
And he understood when I changed my major. And I remember, I was in nursing school and I failed one of my nursing classes. And if I was in a public school, so if I failed one nursing class, I was out of the program. and I
Whoa.
failed that program. And I called him and I told him, Dad, I'm so sorry. I can't be a nurse. It's just not cut out for me. I called him crying, but he was like, I still love you no matter what you choose.
Yeah. So as a fellow parent, and a fellow obviously child,
Mhm.
grandchild, etc., that is exactly how I want my children to always, always feel. And that is just such a beautiful moment to share with us because, of course, I mean, you and I are moms. We know, of course, we're nervous for our kids. Of course, we want them to be safe and financially free and emotionally supported and also happy.
Yeah.
Mm. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, Janet, so many pearls of wisdom and experience. And I'm so
Thank
grateful
you.
for you sharing your story. I shared a little bit, and I know that other people are going to be inspired by these stories of, yeah, never letting something become a failure. Beautiful.
Mm, yes.
So, Janet is accepting new clients in 2021. I will tell you, it's totally worth it. It is a complete experience. So go over to her website. It will be in the show notes, but also go over. If you're ready to really up how you talk about your business, how you show up online, and the back office processes, Janet has really helped me. And I am so excited to experience because now my business can scale even more. I'm at that new of going up the roller coaster hill of scaling, and I know I'm set up. So, Jana, I just have to really thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for being my partner for the last couple of months. And is there any last word you want to leave the audience with?
Oh, thank you so much. Any last words would be just you decide whether you get on the roller coaster or you just want to hop off. And that's the power of entrepreneurship, that it's a journey, whether you want to take it on or not. It has its beauty, it has its ups and downs, um, but it's definitely worth it.
There's no better way to end this. You decide. You
Yeah.
decide. Oh, thank you from my heart and for my audience. Thank you so much. And
Mhm.
that concludes our interview. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
Girlfriend, that was fantastic.